This is a joint GE-CSiro event, and whilst our organisations have worked together for many years in the past, this is the first time we've had an event like this. I'd like to really talk about this revolution we're going through, this digital industrial revolution that we're embarking on.
We're the only organisation in the nation that collaborates deeply with all 41 universities and also over 3,000 companies. So it strikes us that that's the natural place for us to be that bridge, to do more than just science, to do science and deliver solutions.
So how strongly are you representing innovation and digital improvements in your own organisation?
We're talking about disruption, we're talking about revolution. We're not communicating, we're not collaborating, but inside us are these creative beings, these little children that want to hold hands, and the digital practitioners. Your business is connecting, your business is communicating, you're front and centre of the revolution. But innovation's about borrowing. So we really need to be open to working across boundaries and picking up ideas from all over the place.
And as we get into this world, what we're finding is we need mechanisms to not only do the analytics, but just manage this amount of data, to collect it securely, and to house it with an industrial cloud. So Predix is the platform that we're building within GE, and it's really the sum of many years of work that we've had internally around software. Any point in time, we can see a snapshot of how that engine's performing relative to the fleet. So this is fundamental condition monitoring. That's nothing that's potentially new in there. But here you've got a ridiculous amount of data that you're able to visualize. And that in itself is a huge asset to the customer.
When we talk about cloud, it's not just infrastructure and compute, it's actually a platform designed to drive agility within your organisation, wrapped up with all the security that we heard about earlier today as well.
In order to connect assets to the cloud, we need to do so securely. So they recognized early on that we needed a security foundation in order to build the industrial internet. And so GE acquired WorldTech over 2 years ago, and we're a fully integrated part of the GE digital family.
The amount of time it takes between a compromise or an intruder into your organization in this highly connected space, between that point and the time that the victim learns of a breach, it's over 100 days. We need to have a really good hard think about and also the way we innovate in cybersecurity and how we bring that to the table.
Our challenge in the industry is that we're somewhat tethered to our past and our own understanding of what technologies can do and what we're comfortable with.
Health is so far behind in the digital space compared to most other industries. So we have this problem of lack of systems talking to one another. The new Digital Health Agency, which commences on the 1st of July, has a number of key focus areas which will change that. And I put it to you that the consumers will actually, particularly those with a chronic disease, will start to drive the digital health journey much more rapidly than the industry.
It comes down to, once you get that data, what do you do with that data? How do you manage that data? So it comes into the analytics and the big data space, and we're doing quite a bit of work on those areas as well.
One of the things that's really critical is the importance of being internationally linked, looking at all the different things that are happening around our sparsely populated country and bringing them all together to be able to create the go-to place so that small companies can link in with our connections with multinationals such as General Electric to help them be able to realise their opportunity of being part of the global supply chain.
These days, there isn't a single company out there who can't be watching what's happening in their sector because disruption is happening around us, whether you like it or not, and some of those sectors can be disrupted at greater rates, and you may find that your customer base has changed and evolved in a way that you haven't kept up with.
We used to take the view that we had all the answers ourselves. We're 350,000 people. We thought we probably could do all of our own internal research and development. But we now know that we don't have all the answers, and collaborating is absolutely the key to success. And I would say if you really got ambition, think about technology that's truly globally scalable. Some people say innovation is the most overused word and it's become a little bit of a buzzword, and it probably has, but this is the kind of thing that drives cultural change. that means it becomes part of our DNA every day. And the kids in school today who are going to become our future entrepreneurs are infused with this, and they believe that they can do it. And then if you match that with the actual the capability and the skills through proper STEM education, then you have the right ecosystem to become a creative society. And that's what I think we need to be focusing on, is getting that balance right between creativity, entrepreneurialism and technical STEM skills.
The electricity industry is just on the cusp of a massive disruption as we move from centralised generation to more distributed generation, and really a change of this 100-year-old industry from being focused on central fossil fuel generated electricity to more distributed generation and solar and storage in the house, and the ability of customers to communicate with each other, to manage load, to manage demand at a granular level there. And that will see, I believe, the demise of the traditional centralised generation.
So I have a really sort of a financial services lens to what's happening with disruption, and I can tell you the banks are being taken to pieces all around the world. We're moving very quickly to a point where new companies and new startups that no one ever would have envisaged in the past would be able to do certain types of financial products are coming in to act in that space, and they're doing it much better.
Our project is one of an international partnership to bring new greenfield smart cities to Australia and to link them with high-speed transports.
I think I look at my smartphone and I see a phone that's got sensors in it that are wired into a big data platform and some applications that let me do cool stuff. And I think a smart city should be broadly the same sort of idea. So it's a city that's embedded with sensors that collect information, that's housed in a big data platform, such as GE's Predix one, and then translated in a way that's user-friendly and intuitive through front-end applications.
It's really about the intersection of the things that we've talked about: technology, sensors, robotics, autonomous systems, combined with data.
We are starting from a very good place in Australia, in that we lead. We've got world-class education, we've got world-class intellectual capacity. So we've got the framework in place. So it's really just creating the environment and the condition to go to the next step to translate that to commercial outcomes.
The next 15 to 20 year compute cycle is going to be about the intersection of those technologies and industry, and it's going to be those industries that are Australia's strength industries. So it's going to be agriculture, mining, transportation, healthcare. There's just an enormous opportunity for Australia, playing to our strengths and thinking not only domestically but also thinking regionally.
There's no shortage of technology in healthcare. Everywhere you look there's a machine that goes ping. The problem is that those machines don't share the data with each other, so you have these digital islands of information, and that's a problem in a sector that's trying to chase quality. Quality in healthcare drives your costs down and your outcomes for your patients up.
We're not by nature a technology company, so it means we have to work with a lot of companies we would traditionally see as a supplier. So relationships change, and we have to build new relationships to make sure we can provide new services.
We know where we need to go, we know where the gaps are, we don't necessarily have all the gap fillers, if you will. So we go searching, we know what we're looking for the bigger game, if you will, and if you've got something that sort of fills that, then we'll absolutely work with you. Getting over ourselves in country, that's not about Australia and being fair in Australia, fair go to everyone. No, we're on a global scale, and we have got some great tech, we've got really smart people. The academic environment here is awesome, but we're just not leveraging it for, benefits of the economy. So that's something we really need to do.
Smart and intelligent buildings is really about not just doing things for energy savings, but it's the data and the further information and further improvements to that building that you can get from it.
And that's what a smart city's about. It's not just about having technologies, it's about making people's lives better.
But once again, thanks everybody for the time. Thank you for the speakers for coming along and lending your time and putting in the effort to prepare your presentations. And everybody have some lunch. So thank you very much.